Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the meeting number 564 of the Brewcast. I am Sumit. I am your sergeant at arms today. We provide a positive and supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and it may not be possible for us to stop the recording. The following are the meeting rules. Please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that your noise making devices are either switched off or on silent mode. Please speak responsibly on religion, sex, and politics in your speeches. As far as possible, please keep your videos on and audio off, and applause flowing throughout. Be the kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. Team mode, table topic master um, and GE, please ensure a smart audio video check before handing over to respective role players. Role players, please rename yourself as role player and then your name and you may omit the club name if you are the member of Blue Quest. Please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer. The timer will use the background changes. We are still waiting for the timer to join. Green means that you have reached the minimum qualifying time. Yellow card indicates that good time to start concluding, and red specifies that you have 30 more seconds and you would be disqualified. Individual session timing will be explained by the timer and respective role player in the due course. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons generously and encourage role players to do that, to encourage role players. We sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or speak when the speaker is on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether and focus on the speaker. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute. Polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. Now I would like to introduce the presiding officer, Rupinder Singh. Rupinder Singh, over to you.
Thank you, Sergeant Ratams, and good morning, everyone. Or good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. And welcome to meeting number 564 of Blue Quest. I would start by acknowledging the guests and the guests who have graciously volunteered to play roles today. First of all, many thanks to our timer, Lakshmi K. Raman from Sunday Brunch Toastmasters. Let's have a round of applause for her. And A. Padma Kumar from Me Speaks Toastmasters, if I am right, in addition to a plethora of other clubs. Distinguished.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's pronounced as My Speak, but more importantly, what is the theme today so that I can give you the word of the day? What is the theme?
I'm coming to the theme. I'm just coming to the theme. So A. Padma Kumar from My Speak Toastmasters. He's a distinguished Toastmaster and he's been incredibly supportive of this club. I thank you for being here. Now, for today's theme, I would actually blame Sharendra only. When I joined for the first time, he reached out to me and said that, Rupinder, you can reach out to me at any time of the day or the night. I'm here to help you. And now when I call him up at 3 o'clock in the morning, he starts getting irritated. I can't help it. I get my ideas at 2 o'clock in the morning and then I deliberate whether I should call him or not. And finally, when I do call him, he starts getting irritated for some reason. Nevertheless, he's been a constant support, a pillar, and he is someone that I immensely look up to. So today, when he told me, so last week when he told me that he was going to have trivia from English as his speech, I decided that I'm going to ask him at 3 o'clock in the morning, why does it rain cats and dogs? So without further ado, which again is another trivia, which by the way, I learned it in the beginning of this year that ado actually means disturbance. So many times when we say without further ado, we don't realize we are actually saying without further disturbance. These are the kind of nuggets you're going to listen to today. I hand the stage over to Shaurendra Bhaumik. I spotlight him. Shaurendra, let's very quickly do an audio video check for you. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes.
you. Shaurendra
Yes.
Bhaumik, trivia from English, Shaurendra Bhaumik.
Good morning, everybody, and good evening to some of my ladies who I would like to congratulate for having made it to the next level of the contests. Congratulations. It's so good to hear and see you guys here. Well, Rupinder is not wrong. That night, when he did call me, I knew that Rupinder, who is always a night bird, who is always the whole night like an owl, he's up attending all the meetings across the world. This was coming, so it had to happen someday, and it did happen. And we are talking about, trivias which all of us use very constantly. Things like kill two birds with a stone, or it's a piece of cake, or a penny for your thoughts. These are words or phrases which we constantly use. And I remember when I was a small kid, I was quite intrigued by these phrases since we had a very beautiful English language teacher, Mrs. Green. And it was many years after I had reached the final year in school that I realized that she was Mrs. Green and not Miss Green. And that is when I really felt sad. But this today's effort is a tribute to Mrs. Green because she taught me so many beautiful phrases and the meanings of them. So, ladies and gentlemen, I start with the first question, which is a 3 a.m. question which Rupinder put to me, and I'm going to use my screen to show you some of these slides that I prepared for myself. And I said, let me show it to you. The first one is raining cats and dogs. Well, I'll have to take you back to the century of the 15th or the 16th century, when in England, houses of the slightly poor people were of thatched roofs. And they were a thick pile of which was very high, and there was no wood underneath. And it was there right on top. And because it was getting colder, these cats and mice and bugs would just creep into it and stay there warm. And when it started raining, and as it rains in England so much, that surface, which was with those thatched roofs, would become slippery. And slowly, these dogs and mice and the cats would just fall down. And that's how this phrase, "it's raining cats and dogs," was really started. But then I must add a little bit to this, that my dad, who was a prisoner of war during the Second World War, had told me that in Java and Sumatra, which was also a very poor country in those days, it would rain horses and cattle. And I was quite taken aback, and I asked him, why horses and kettles of all things? He said, well, in those days, when you had the place, you had double-storied houses, which were again with wood and thatched roofs. And the stable used to be on the first floor. And the lady of the house would cook in that place, and she used to make tea using those kettles. And when it would rain, the horses would run down because the roof would start leaking and there was a lot of water. And the lady would carry the kettle along with her because that was one precious utensil which she used to use. And that's how, when they came down, they coined this word, raining horses and kettles. So that's how one of the trivias of the English language took place. And then there's another very common word which we use, and that is, don't throw the baby out with the bath water. Again, going back to this good old England, where in those days, the male, I would use the word male chauvinistic pigs of those days, would always get the first chance take a hot water bath. And then the other boys and men in the family would then get to take a bath in that same tub which had the hot water. And this was followed by the woman folk, and then the children, and finally the small babies. But imagine by that time that water would have become very dirty and you could hardly see through it. And there could be opportunities where the mother was trying to throw the water out because it had not cooled down and it was dirty. And unknowingly, the baby was also thrown out. And that is how this phrase, don't throw the baby out with the bath water, actually was coined. There are very many things that we will be talking about these trivias in English language, but let me first get going on the agenda of this meeting. As we all know, the meeting is split into 3 sections. The first section is where we are going to talk about the speeches, and there will be people who will, Toastmasters, who will deliver an assigned speech, which is a prepared speech. This will be followed by the table topics, which are extempo speeches that you will be called on to speak. And finally, the most important part of our entire day is going to be the evaluations. The evaluations of our various speeches and our performance today. And this is going to be led, the whole section is going to be led by our very dear Toastmaster, Khushbu. And Khushbu is the general evaluator today. And I will now hand over the stage to Khushbu to introduce her team and explain what she is going to do as the evaluator of the day, or the chief evaluator of the day. So over to you, Khushbu, and let's hear from you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sorendra. Good morning, everybody. What a lovely day. And it's certainly not raining dogs and cats, but it's shivering here in Jaipur, in my city. And I wish you all a great meeting today with today's meeting. And today my job would be to evaluate the whole meeting, the effectiveness of the meeting and how the meeting was conducted as per the norms of our Toastmasters Club. And to help me to conduct this role efficiently, I have my team of evaluators, the speech evaluators and my tag team. First, I would like to introduce my timer Lakshmi, to come up on stage and explain her role. Lakshmi, the stage is yours.
Good morning, General Evaluator, and it's always a pleasure seeing you all again and again. Today, I'm going to be the timer and I'm going to note down the duration taken by each and every participant. And you will be seeing the timer at the back, the way you see the blue one. And it's going to be gray for some time, and after when you reach the minimum time you will see the green, and when you are reaching the mean time it's going to be yellow, and when you reach the maximum time you are going to see red over here. For prepared speeches, since it's there is no tiebreaker, there is no icebreaker, it's going to be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5th minute you will be seeing the green, at 6th minute you'll see the yellow, and at 7th minute you'll see the red. Same for table topics, it's going to be 1 to 2 minutes, and at 1st minute you will see the green, 1 minute 30 seconds you'll see yellow, and 2 minutes you'll see the red one. And for evaluation, it's going to be 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes you'll see the green, 2 minutes 30 seconds you'll see yellow, and 3 minutes you'll see the red. For all prepared speeches, table topics and evaluation, you will be having 30 seconds grace period. But please be aware there won't be any indication if you pass that 30-second grace. I'll prepare the report and present when my general evaluator calls me during the evaluation section. Thank you, and over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Lakshmi, for enlightening us with the time restrictions that we have. And moving further, the second member of the tag team, the R counter, is the birthday girl in front of you, Khushbu, who will mind all the filler words like so, if you use it in the speech, which I find it's rarely going to happen, seeing the astute speakers that we have today on the podium. And further, to help me in the evaluation, we have the grammarian of the day, someone whose table topic style always inspires me and tells me that, Khushbu, you need to work hard on your table topic delivery. So over to you, Padma Kumar, and help us with your role.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Wishing you again a very happy birthday. Today, in my role as Wordmaster Grammarian, I will have two parts to the role. On one front, I look for good usages of the English language and any opportunities we have to improve on the language. The second part is I will give you a word of the day in line with the theme for the day. And the word that I have chosen, or rather the phrase that I have chosen, is at 6s and 7s. The meaning of this is a condition of confusion. Here are a couple of illustrations on how you can use this. The world was in 6s and 7s during the past 2 years due to the pandemic. When role players do not join in time, Toastmaster meetings get to be at 6s and 7s. I would encourage you all to use this phrase at 6s and 7s in your speeches, evaluations, and so on. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Padma Kumar, for that great illustration of the word of the day and your role. And moving further, we have two speeches today, one by Toastmaster Rupinder and another by Anna Whistler, and their evaluators are Pratima and Toastmaster Raj. And I hand over the podium back to our TM mod, Toastmaster Surendra. You are muted, sir.
Thank you so much for reminding me that I was muted. And at the same time, thank you, Madam Birthday Girl of the Day. I did put up a small poster for you. I don't know whether you saw it. But anyway, so let's get back to And Padma, thank you for using those phrases. Those were wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, before we start the next section, and before I go in, or maybe let's complete this section of the speeches, of prepared speeches. Today, the first speech, I believe, is by Rupinder. Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh is talking on his path, which is motivational skills under evaluation and feedback. And I would request Rupinder to kindly give his objectives of the speech, because I don't have it here with me. Rupinder, can you please share that with us? You're
It's
muted.
evaluation and feedback speech one. I'm supposed to give a 5 to 7 minute speech and get feedback for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Toastmasters and dear guests, let us hear the first speech, which I'm very, very inquisitive to know about. And the title of the speech is Skills That Matter. Rupinder Singh, Skills That Matter. Rupinder Singh, over to you.
Before I begin, I would like to inform that Raj Mehta is my speech evaluator, just so that
I did not.
it's clear. Thank you. Adding timer to spotlight. Sharinder, can you just repeat my name, title,
Yes.
speech once again?
Sure. Rupinder Singh, Skills That Matter. Skills That Matter. Rupinder Singh, over to you.
When you are working in a multinational corporation, what is the biggest fear you have? I will tell you what is the biggest fear you have. Your biggest fear is that you sit down for lunch on a relatively empty table. Your boss comes around and asks you, is this table free? Your heart, which is at 6s and 7s, wants to say, no, it is not. But hey, he's your boss. So you have to say, yes, it is free. Sit. Mr. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and very distinguished guests. It so came to pass that in July of 2009, I had had a rather stressful morning and was looking forward to an eventless lunch. Never did I think that my lunch was going to get so eventful. Because who turns up? My boss. It's the worst possible thing that you can imagine, and the worst possible thing was happening to me. So he asks me, is this table free? Yes. Sit. And he sat. And as I'm eating my food and trying to not respond, he pops me the question, not that question. He asked me if I knew about Toastmasters. And I'm eating my food. No, I don't know. Then he went on to explain that it is an organization that helps people learn their communication and leadership skills. Then he dropped the bombshell. I think you should join Toastmasters. What? Now, bear in mind, I was heading the instructional design team in a Fortune 300 organization. And I thought that communication was my bread and butter. My leadership skills might have been suspect, but communication was the bread in my bread and butter. And I said, communication skills? Me? To which my leader said, yes, I want you to join, and I want you to join yesterday. Now, my leader thought that I was some sort of a genius who could go back in time and make a change. Well, that did not happen. I did not join yesterday or today or tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. I joined after 6 years. Not one day passes when I do not kick myself for asking, what was I doing for all those 6 years? Why do I kick myself? To tell that, I'll take you back again into another part of my life. A part where I was given a choice whether to go into teaching or whether to go into programming. And I chose programming. And believe me, there hasn't been a programming language that I haven't programmed it. C, C++, Java, JavaScript, HTML, PHP, Perl, Python. And there's not a database management system that I've not dealt with. MySQL, Access, MS SQL, Oracle. But here's the catch. Somewhere around 2003, I decided to leave all that and focus on the other path, which was teaching. And thus I came into training and development. In 2010, I got a chance once again to go back to the world of programming, and I was again at 6s and 7s. Because the scenario had changed dramatically. HTML was no longer the familiar, friendly language that I recognized. PHP had undergone a massive change. MySQL, which was supposed to be a free software, was now a licensed software, which meant that I would have to pay for it. I could not recognize Java. It had undergone a change. I struggled with it for full 1 year before I gave it up. And then I realized that epiphany came over. You see, even before I took up training as a profession, there were certain things that I was doing. That I'm still doing till today. Earlier also, I was giving presentations, and today also I'm giving presentations. Earlier also I was negotiating, and today also I'm negotiating. Earlier also I was giving interviews, and today also I give interviews. Earlier also I resolved conflicts, and today also I resolved conflicts. And I realized that these are the skills that actually matter. The technical skills will help you get a job. The technical skills will probably help you get your next promotion. The technical skills will probably help you get your next appraisal right. But it is these skills, the behavioral skills, or as we call them, soft skills. I really don't know why we call them soft skills. These are the skills that will ensure your career. And if you don't believe me, go check out the resume of any CEO, CFO, CXO. It will not say coding as a skill. It will not say database management as a skill. It will tell you that these people are well versed in change management, in leadership, that these are the skills that matter. In 2009, I got a chance to join Toastmasters. I did not join it for 6 years. My advice to you, Toastmasters is going to give you all the skills that matter. Do not ignore it. And do not wait 6 years before you join it. This is my message to you, and this is the word of a Toastmaster. Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Rupinder. As usual, you were brilliant. Thank you so much. So let's take this forward, and let me call on the second speaker
Minute to give.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Can you please do your evaluations for Rupinder's speech? and give him feedbacks on his speech. Thank you, Madam
Thank you.
Trimer. Thank you, Madam Trimer. So our next speaker is Toastmaster Anna Whistler. Anna today is doing her part engaging humor, and her project is on inspire your audience. For the objectives of her speech, the purpose of the project is for Anna to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others, and a speech where the audience is inspired by her speech. Anna's speech is going to be for 5 to 7 minutes, which Madam Timer kindly note. And this is her level 3 speech. So here goes. Toastmaster Anna Whistler from Thanks to Giving. From Thanks to Giving, Toastmaster Anna Whistler, over to you.
Thursday is the launch of holiday season everywhere. And it's kicked off by the most exciting, exhilarating, most amazing way, the Macy's Day Parade. Now, if you are not familiar with it, a company that sells clothing started a parade over 50 years ago that incorporates balloons to a large extent, bands, floats. It's a spectacular sensation. And in the Whistler household, we get up every single Thanksgiving morning, turn on the television, watch the Macy's Day Parade, and make our annual breakfast of elephant ears, which are really just smashed down cinnamon treats. Thanksgiving is the kickoff to the holiday season here in America. For many, it is Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, Boxing Day for Canada, and of course, my favorite, Christmas. And this season, everything has been a whirlwind. I have moved, my job has changed, I am attempting to have a life, but ultimately, until about 3 days ago, life was great. And then I realized that this Thanksgiving is the first holiday that I will actually be spending alone. Now, I say this not to invite all of you. I'm sorry, I don't have enough room and I definitely don't want to cook. I'd have to start like 3 days ago to get enough food for everyone. But I say this because it has come to my realization that, again, I am in this despair of what I need to do with my life. How can I embrace the frustration, depression, and the anxiety that being alone during the holiday season can bring? Thanksgiving. It's a time to be thankful, right? I'm going to be alone. What do I have to be thankful for? Now, if you were my ex, He made sure I knew what to be thankful for. I have a roof over my head. I have food in the fridge. I have people to talk to. I have a job. You have many things to be thankful for. Yep, that's true. But now I feel a lot worse because now the things I'm taking for granted, I should be thankful for. Okay, well, this isn't working. Giving, that's my next part. Okay, so during the season, there's lots of ways I can give. I could give money, give to the poor. I could give of my time and help feed the poor, or ring one of those bells outside of Macy's or some retail store asking for money for charity. Any one of those things can happen here. That's giving, right? I tried that. Still didn't work. I literally am sitting here going, how can I be happy? How can I be motivated? How can I be thankful in this time of holiday season? And what about you? When is the last time you felt this way? You felt despair. You felt frustration, anxiety, worry, fear of missing out. What did you do? What did I do? I cried. Soft tears, not the heavy sobs. But I've realized that the pressure and the anxiety and the work that I had put on myself, the worry, was all because I was doing it to myself. It is not things that create thankfulness. And I focused on the things in my life to try to draw up thankfulness. It is not simply the act of giving that can create that positivity. Rather, it's you doing it from your heart and not because it's the season. How many times do you do things that you feel you have to do because of other people's expectations on you? Let me ask that again, because to me, the question is heavier than the words itself. How many times do you do things just due to the fact that someone had expectations on it? With the holiday season, we all have those expectations. We all have that pressure, that yearning to be a part of a group, to be with people that we love. So where do we miss taking care of ourselves as a part of it? I don't have all the answers, but my challenge to you is this, is to focus on what is important to you. What is it that draws happiness to you? And it could be a variety of things, like reading or taking a bath or going for a walk or just sitting down and holding your kids. Find what you can be thankful for and rejoice for that, whether it's a roof over your head or just the simple fact of cold water down your throat. And give what you want as you need to, because ultimately that is what's going to draw your happiness. You must do you. As for me, Thursday, I'm getting up to watch that Macy's Day Parade. I'm going to make my elephant ears, and I'm even going to cook me a turkey. Why not? Asher and I can eat plenty. Over to you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you. What an emotionally filled speech. Loved it, Anna. Now, with so much of 6s and 7s running around, I think I'll introduce at the end of this session of prepared speeches, let me get to another of these phrases which are through trivia. Let me just go ahead and share the screen for you, and The next trivia that I am talking about is,
Hate to interrupt, but 1 minute for an
oh,
audio stream.
I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry.
1 minute is up.
Thank you so much, Madam Lakshmi. The next trivia that I would like to share is Saved by the Bell. You know, when I was a kid, I always used to see these WWF on television. And I always thought that Saved by the Bell was something connected to boxing or wrestling, where a knockout would be imminent, but because the bell was rung and the round was over, it the person who was to be eliminated or knocked out was saved. But then I found out there's a very, very old story about it. In the years, again, going back to the 1500s, England, as you all know, is a relatively small place, and the local folk started running out of place to bury their people. So, what they would do is dig up old coffins and take the bones to a bone house and reuse the grave. But when reopening these graves, 1 out of 25 graves they found had a lot of scratch marks on the inside, and they realized that they may have buried these people when they were still alive. So, what did they do? They tied a string to the wrist of the dead body, threaded it through the coffin, and then they went in and pulled it right out of the grave and tied it up to a bell which was outside. And therefore, if the bell rang, they knew the person was still alive and they would open up the grave and take out the person. But to do this, they had a person who had to sit next to the bell right through the night. And that is how the next phrase came, that is graveyard shift. All of us who are in the IT division and who do support to their clients will know this word, where when you have the late night, overnight, you have to be in office working on a shift. That is the graveyard shift. So that's how this word, Saved by the Bell and graveyard shifts, came about. But then let me tell you something more. And, again, as I said, we men were chauvinistic pigs. And even in those days, we would beat up our wives. Now, history is not boring, so let me give you some more inputs. In the 1400s, a law was put up in England that a man was allowed to beat his wife with a stick no thicker than his thumb. And that is how the rule of the thumb came about. So next time when you use this word rule of the thumb, think about the story. But again, don't beat your wife with a thumb shaped stick or whatever it is. The next one, which I would like you to know about, and this is something which I learned when I spent some time working in UK. I was quite amazed, and this is actually a photograph taken by me in a place near Somerset, where you will find that all the walls there are actually bricked up and they are closed. And it intrigued me, why was this done? When the facade of the house was so beautiful and they had actually blocked all the windows. And then I came to know that in 1696, William III of England had introduced a property tax that required those buildings and houses, those living in houses with more than 6 windows had to pay a levy. In avoid this tax, the housekeepers therefore bricked up all the windows except 6. The window tax actually lasted till 1851, and therefore some of the older houses you can see in England which still have their walls bricked up, their windows bricked up. And actually, this was because the people living in realized that they were blocking the sunlight, which was supposed to be coming in to the house. And as you know, in UK, sunlight is pretty scarce. So that is how the word daylight robbery came in place. So today, if you are blatantly cheated by someone, you say it is a daylight robbery. More of the trivia as we go along, but let's now go to the next section, and that is the table topics. And today, I'm sorry, who would be the table topic master today? Sorry?
That's me, Surendra.
That's okay. Alyssa, who else could it be? Alyssa Schneider, over to you, and let's hear something from you. Table topic master, Alyssa Schneider. Over to you, Alyssa.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster, for that excellent introduction. And I wonder if we can stop screen sharing so I can see all of the participants for today. Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're getting your fill of English curiosities because we are about to make our own. That's right, you heard me. We've been hearing all about idioms from our dear Toastmaster Surendra, and I thought, what if you get a chance to make your own? And here's how it's going to work. I'm going to ask you for a noun, a verb, an animal, you fill in the blank, and then you have to tell us what you think that idiom could possibly mean, or what is the message that that pair of words is going to transmit. So today, I'm going to be calling on all of you intellectuals to help me on this journey and take us to a whole new world and plane of existence. And for that, I'm going to start off with our dear guest, and well, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to pick somebody right from the beginning. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question. If you can make it to the green light, great. Okay, let's start off with Padma. Padma.
Yes.
Show us how it's done. I can see the excitement on your face. all I need from you is an animal and a body part. We'll make a sentence and then you tell us what that sentence is all about.
Okay. The animal is goat.
Goat?
Yeah. Goat got my brain.
Okay. Goat got your brain, Padma?
Yeah.
Really? Tell us about it.
You know, have you wondered as you drive on the roads, you suddenly find, particularly in the non-metro parts of the country, that the goat herd does not quite recognize that the road is meant for vehicles to pass. They are very nonchalant about using the roads for taking their goats from one side to the other side. And these goats have absolutely no sense of hearing or responsibility. They just stand munching away at the grass that they had bitten off earlier, quite mindless of the fact that we are getting delayed for our important appointments. We may be going to meet a loved one, maybe be going for a job interview, but these goats just do not care. They just eat our brain, and we become so impatient that we would prefer to cut them up and make a mutton biryani out of them and ensure that our roads are free of all of these goats. So whenever somebody does something that interferes with my schedule, whenever somebody is unmindful of my priorities, then I say he is like the goat that eats my brain. Thank you very much. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Okay, so in summary, the next time we meet people who are not aware of our priorities, they're the goat that eats the brain. Okay, those are goats to definitely watch out for. Okay, thank you so much, Padma. Very creative answer. And I want to make a special request for our timekeeper. Timekeeper, if you could wait to start the timing until they finish the phrase. Once they have the phrase in hand, I think then they can start on the timing for the table topic. Thank you. Okay, now, just in case you were wondering, the actual sentence idiom for that is cat got your tongue, which is actually, why are you being so quiet? Has the cat got your tongue? And is that why you're not speaking? But now we've got a new one. Goat has got your brain. So we're all set. Okay, let's see who else we can pick on for this morning, on this early morning. Let's see, we've got a number of visitors, and Deanna, I see you raising your hand. Maybe I can send you one in the chat. Okay, let's pick on, I don't know, let's see. Keith, are you there?
Hi, sorry, I'm not able to turn on my camera.
That's okay. Do you want to take a topic or do you want to wait till later, or you tell me?
Can you give me another round or so?
Absolutely, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Let's pick on somebody else. Okay, let's go with Raj. He's got his camera on. He's ready to go. Raj. Yes, I can hear you. I think you sound a little far away, but we'll see. Okay, Raj, here is yours. Here is your idiom. We're going to need from you a body part and a noun. So body part and noun.
I might not be able to make the exact thing, but what I can imagine, have your.
Okay, I can't really hear you. Your sound is very far away.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, but it's still, can you turn your volume up or microphone closer?
Yes. It's full.
Let's just ask the general evaluator if she can hear him, because she is the one who's going to be evaluating.
Let me try.
Khushbu, are you able to
Okay,
hear?
generally,
No, I can't hear him properly.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yeah, a little
I'm
bit.
looking at who else let's see what we've got. Yeah. Okay. Raj, are you ready to go? Or shall I pick on someone else as we figure it out?
Ready to go.
Oh, now you're on mute.
No, he's speaking, Alisa, from another device.
Shall I
Alisa,
start?
you can hear him.
Yeah, go ahead. I think you can go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, okay, perfect. Raj, a body part.
I feel it should be have your head in the bucket. And I will start with that.
Perfect.
Once I was going on a road and I saw some people quarreling. I just felt that I should go there and see for what they are quarreling. And I found that they were two friends who were quarreling on some tiny thing. And that tiny thing was not there around. It was in their imagination. They had imagined something and then they were struggling to get that thing. I just felt funny that, yeah, why they are quarreling, why they are fighting for a thing which is not still there. I just thought that I should make a way for them. I went to them, talked to them, and asked them not to fight or not to quarrel. They listened to me and they started shouting at me. They said, "Who are you to interfere? Why are you interfering in our matter? It is our personal matter. We are friends. We can fight. We can do anything. Why are you there into us? Let us fight. Let us quarrel." And they came after me. After me in the sense, I just felt that, okay, I should go away from there. As I was going away from them, one of them came behind me and held me by collar. He said, "Why did you interfere?" And then I felt, let the world die. Let there be anything negative. I should not poke my nose into the matters of others, because they might be happy for their own reasons. They might be sad for their own reasons. They might be struggling. They might be quarrel for their own reasons. Who am I to interfere? And that's why I felt that it is better to keep your head away from the bucket in which you don't have any matter to solve there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Raj. Can you hear me, everybody? I think I'm having a little troubles and delays on my end.
Your screen is getting frozen from time to time.
Can-
I think you're
Listen,
speaking
you're
on mute.
muted. You're muted.
I do apologize. Can you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
Okay, don't know what's going on. If at some point you can't hear me, just let me know. Okay, Raj, having your head in the bucket, that does sound like a very terrible problem. And the actual idiom is have your head in the clouds. So you were close. And I love the table topic you came up with for that. Definitely something to be aware of. Thank you so much for creating something new for our English language and delighting us with that insight and wisdom. Now, let's see. Deanna, I've sent you one in the chat, which you can go ahead and fill out for us when you're ready. Go ahead and send that to me. And up next, our next idiom inventor. Oh, okay, great. I see Keith. Keith, I see you on screen. Does that mean we can pick on you? Are you good to go? Okay, excellent. Okay, Keith, yours is going to be, oh, this is good. Okay. Keith, we need an adjective, an animal, and a reptile. Adjective, animal, and reptile.
Okay, sorry. I'm just filling in the blank, not a speech. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you just, yep, we're doing idioms. We're making our own idioms. So you just give me an adjective. Funny, happy,
Okay.
yellow, green, blue.
The curious cat gets the reptile. Gets the alligator. Is that a reptile?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Okay, now here we've got our idiom, and now all we need for you is to tell us what it means. So the curious cat gets the reptile. Tell us all about it, Keith. Over to you.
One day I was in a desert, and I don't know why a cat was in the desert. So I saw this cat walk past, meow, meow. And it was a black cat. So I started to get a little bit suspicious because you know what they say about black cats, right? And it started to rain in the desert. Huge puddles form, and a reptile, an alligator came out of nowhere, out of one of these puddles. And to my surprise, this cat that I thought would be bad luck saved my life. As this alligator swims out of this puddle and is about to attack me, this curious cat pops out of nowhere again and attacks the alligator, scratching him in his eyes. And the alligator runs away. My life was saved. And I'll never forget that black cat. So today, black cats are actually a sign of good luck and strength for me. Now, I don't think that cat was very wise, but he was definitely curious and strong and courageous. And that is why I say the curious cat gets the lion, gets the alligator, rather, because he got him. He got him to run away, and thankfully, we both left there alive. I hope that the next time you see a black, curious cat, that you get good luck and something positive happens. And maybe if an alligator shows up, he will get that alligator as well. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Keith, for so much creativity. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, the next time you see a black cat, then you are in luck. That's what we learned tonight. Okay, up next. Well, actually, Deanna has sent me her table topic. And her table, oh, I do apologize. Hang on. Keith, so the actual authentic idiom is the early bird gets the worm, but I'm going with the curious cat gets the alligator all the way. Okay, now over to Deanna. She had this topic and she says, let's see in the chat, my hair attends head on body, heart does 7s and 6s. I felt that funny feel inside that bad storm. Okay, so head on body and you felt the storm. So I do believe when the storm comes, make sure you keep your head attached to your body. I think could be one of the things that Deanna is saying. Just keep your head on straight. Make sure you find a safe place to go. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And the actual idiom is, well, break a leg. Don't break a leg in the storm. Not recommended. Okay. Let's see. We've got, okay. Oh my goodness, Naveen. Naveen, how could we not pick on you?
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful early morning to give us a topic. Okay. So, for you, simple. Verb.
Actually, I can't hear you.
So if you could give us a verb, a noun, and another verb.
Okay.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, now it's better. All right, yeah. Okay.
Here.
So my phrase would be, let's play while the sun rises.
Okay, except, well, where's your noun? That's the only thing.
Okay. All right.
Hello.
Okay. Just give me.
There you
Toastmasters बात कराऊंगी?
Just wait for 5 minutes.
कोई आया है क्या?
Okay.
हाँ, ठीक है, बोले था, ठीक.
Let's play with friends while the sun rises. Okay, would that be all right?
Okay, perfect. And do tell us, what does this idiom mean for you? And what lesson can we learn? Over to you.
All right. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters, of course, it's very important to play in life, because all play and all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So of course, that's what my friends, my medical doctors, and everyone has been telling me. That is, just see whenever the sun rises and go and work out, because I'm a lazy person. And being a lazy person, this is the first thing what I do. As soon as the sun rises, and that's the reason I'm late today, because I was busy stretching out and doing some yoga along with my instructor today in the morning. And as soon as I got free, I decided to log on to join Toastmasters. So friends, it's very important for you to take some time out and don't be that dull person. And as soon as you see the sunrise, try to see how you can burn those calories. They may not be important today, but over a period of time, you will notice its after effects, especially during old age. Now, let me give you an example of some of the things which I've undertaken recently. Well, apart from doing my yoga early in the morning, I've also started to do some meditation sometimes in between, and I've also started singing, learning how to sing. I'm a bad singer. I'm a terrible singer. So of course, these are some extracurricular activities which have just begun recently. And believe it or not, it really helps you a lot. It keeps all the tension away. It makes you more at ease, and you feel a sense of pleasure over a period of time. So take up some new activities and try to do something new every year, which you haven't done something before. And believe it or not, that you can make the best use when the sun rises. And of course, that's what friends are for. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Naveen. That was outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to exercise with your friends while the sun rises. You'll keep off the calories. That's the important part. Now, the actual idiom is make hay while the sun shines. That also has to do with exercise. So Naveen, I think you were right along the lines, headed in the right direction. Okay, we have time for one or two more. Let's pick quickly here on Pratima. Pratima, this one's for you. Let's see. Verb, infinitive, like give, take, throw, toss. So fill in the blank there for me if you don't mind. So let's just start with the first one, and you're on mute.
The first one would be give.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then an adjective and a body part.
Or give someone the flesh and blood. Does that count?
Right, you need an adjective would be it could be the funny or the slow or the long or whatever.
Give someone, I think just,
It could be the yellow toe, you know? Could be give someone the yellow toe.
give someone the strong back.
Okay. Perfect. Over to you.
All right, thank you so much. So as we know that in the human anatomy, the spine plays a major role in keeping your bodies erect. Metaphorically also, your back, when we say that I have your back, means I have your support. I am your support system. And I have seen that in life, many times people expect a lot in terms of they have their arms open, their hands wide out, ready to receive. But when it comes to giving, they hesitate. They are often at 6s and 7s when it comes to giving. So my message for all of you is that give someone the strong back to lean on, to support. And Toastmaster, for that example, does an awesome job at that by giving someone that strong back to lean on, to support, and to grow. So, and I'm really thankful to be a part of this journey. And also one more thing which I want to add is that it, of course, has to be, it becomes a mutual give and receive, because when we offer someone our back, in return, naturally, organically, it happens that the other person also has a back on. So thank you so much. And back to you, Elisa.
Thank you, Pratima. Excellent teaching. Yes, we do want to give everyone this strong back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have put together our very own set of idioms. I know we've been looking back to the past to see what was invented, and we've used them since, but we have encountered all kinds of fabulous idioms, from watching out, getting that curious cat with the alligators, to giving your strong back, and learn some outstanding lessons, which, by the way, the actual idiom for this one is give someone the cold shoulder, which is totally the opposite of what Pratima was suggesting. Pratima, yours is much more supportive. I think we vote for yours in terms of between yours and the idiom I'm presenting on screen. And now it's actually time to vote for the best table topic speaker. Please select on screen which one you would recommend. Give you a second to do that before I hand us all back to the Toastmaster. And I do appreciate your creativity at such an early hour. You all did a shining, fantastic job.
Thank you so much. I could capture about 3 of those idioms, and others were brilliant. I think people worked it out so well. They were really nice. Now, if I could go back to my screen sharing and give you some more information on these idioms or phrases that we keep using, which over the years has become part of our life. And the next one, which I would like to share with you, is something which I learned some time back. Gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. I always say that the British are male chauvinistic pigs. They always come out with rules which support the men. And this is a classic example where many, many years back in Scotland, a new game was invented. And it was ruled that only gentlemen could play this game, and women were forbidden from playing this game. And guess what? The game today is known as golf. G from the gentleman, O from only, L for ladies, and F for forbidden. So that's where you, whenever you see or hear about golf or you play golf, remember the British or the Scottish did not want the ladies to play. But surprisingly, we have a set of ladies who are playing so well in the game of golf. Another very common phrase that we use, or idiom that we use, is good night, sleep tight. Guess how that came? It was in the Shakespearean time when mattresses were secured to the bed frame by ropes. When you pulled the rope, the mattresses tightened, making the bed firmer to sleep on. And that is when people said, good night, sleep tight, because the mattress was now tight. And guess why ladies, or when they are getting married, why do brides carry a bouquet of flowers? This, ladies and gentlemen, goes back to that story where I had spoken about throwing the kid out or the baby out with the bath water. You know, in those days, people would take a bath when the water temperature would be a little warmer in England. And in those years of 1500, most people married in the month of June because they took their yearly bath in the month of May and they still smelled pretty good in June. However, since they were starting to smell, brides carried a bouquet of flowers to hide their body odor. Hence, the custom today of carrying a bouquet when getting married. Did you know that? All the ladies who got married, do you know why you have so much of flowers around you when you were getting married? So that's one thing which I wanted to tell you. I'll have one more trivia at the end of this session, after the next session, which is going to be handled by the general evaluator. And this is the evaluation section, which is the most important part of how we have done today. So for this section, I'm handing over the stage to our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Khushbu. Over to you, Khushbu. Take it from here.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surinder. Well, in India, we definitely need to take baths so that we don't use flowers every day, because flowers are very expensive these days. Ask me with my last Diwali flower expenses. So the general evaluation is divided into 3 parts. First, I will ask the 2 speech evaluators to present their evaluation. Then I will call my tag team to present their evaluation. And at the end, I will do my table topics evaluation. And to do my job easier, to make my job easier, I have the first evaluator, Toastmaster Raj Mehta, who doesn't need and can't afford flowers because he has never missed a bath in last 11 years. And he is a person who is not only my mentor, but he inspires me, because being a stammering guy, he's a trainer, and he trains me really well. And I'm sure that is visible in my performance as I'm getting comments and praises from my fellow Toastmasters. So over to you, Toastmaster Raj, to present your evaluation report for a veteran Toastmaster, Toastmaster Rupinder Singh.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmasters, and also our Toastmaster Khushbu. Today, we heard a speech. In true sense, it was a speech because it had something which really mattered. And the things which mattered in today's speech were the content, which had very flowery words, or I would say words which everybody would like to hear, like eventless lunch, bread and butter. We also had in the speech voice with expressions like sit, Yes, sit. And 6 years. Then we had mood of the speaker. When he became sad, when he was struggling for getting again onto the grammar languages. It had many phases of life in which the speaker learned many things. If we talk about his learnings, these included many soft skills and many programming languages. I felt as a whole, it was a good speech and it had messages. But at the same time, I feel that there were points which could be avoided or can be improved upon. Number one, he started with a question, but did not wait for the audience to respond. He himself said, okay, I will tell you. That instead of taking responsibility from the audience, he could have involved the audience in the speech. Secondly, I felt that the main thing, skills that matter, came very late. He talked about the soft skills almost at the tail end of the speech. So that came very late. And third, I felt that there was some repetitions of words like earlier also, today also, earlier also, today also, and it was four or five times. I think there could have been some improvement in the language, or maybe some better words could be used instead of repeating the same thing again and again. I also felt that since the main thing, skills that matter, came very late, so there was very less emphasis on the importance of learning these skills. Overall, it was a speech which told us about the various phases of life of the speaker and how he got adapted to those soft skills. But at the same time, I think he needs to work on the recommendations which are just covered, and maybe after that, this speech will come out in a better way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raj. Now we have our second evaluator, a fitness enthusiast, and that is evident from her glowing face, and a compassionate and energetic lady who has just proven that she will always have the back of all the people who are there in her life. So Toastmaster Pratima will evaluate our champion, Anna Whistler. Over to you, Toastmaster Pratima.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, for that beautiful introduction. Now, talking about Anna's speech. Anna, talking about your content. You were extremely engaging and opening when you talked about the Macy's Day Parade. Even for people who might not know what that is, you explained by arriving at the Thanksgiving Day. You were clear and vivid all through your speech. Great vocal variety. For example, when you reminded us what we should be thankful for. I really liked the interrogative tone in your speech. Also, you asked a lot of questions for the audience. When is the last time you felt despair? What did you do? And it was not just that you were putting us on the spotlight, but you first shared your vulnerabilities with us, thus inviting the audience to think about theirs. And you did a brave job at that. So kudos to you on that. Your speech came full circle with the concluding note on the Macy's Days Parade. So kudos again to you on that. Talking about your body language. Now, the speech required that you should be either entertaining or moving. So let's comment on the moving part. You were extremely engaging and open. You had great hand gestures. For example, when you said, this Thanksgiving is the first holiday I will spend alone. You had apt gestures with apt vocal intonation, which actually made the audience empathize with you. Now, all through, we were thoroughly engaged with your content and the splash of your vivacious personality. Now, subjectively speaking, I do have few challenges for you. I felt that this speech could have been more powerful if humor was added to it to make it more entertaining, as personally I felt that it swayed more towards the emotional element. Now, humor to your speech would have been like a buffer, more so like coffee beans to smell newer fragrances of your speech. Also, I felt that the preparation element was a tad low, as you seem to be distracted when referring to your notes. Talking about the purpose of your speech and did you achieve it? Well, the purpose of your speech was to inspire an audience. And did I, as an audience, feel inspired? And did I see others feeling inspired? Yes, I did. But I felt it could have been better in terms of galvanizing the audience. Overall, you left us with some great takeaways. Taking care of ourselves first and foremost, and then also giving us a reminder what we have to be grateful for and to give back. The message of your speech all through was clear, and you did not leave your audience at 6s and 7s. So kudos to you, and I'm looking forward to hear more engaging and inspiring speeches from you. Thank you so much, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Pratima. Now we'll move to our table topic evaluation. Before that, I would like to congratulate our table topic master, Elisa, for being so mindful regarding the whole delivery of. So we have the poll here. Now, so I was with my table topic master, Elisa, and I really congratulate her for being so mindful about the conduct of the whole table topic session. Like, for example, she reminded the timer on from where to start the timing, and she created idioms brilliantly with the backdrop. And one recommendation would be for you, Elisa, if you can explain at the beginning what exactly is idiom, because I often used to get confused between idioms and proverbs. So if that explanation could have been given at the beginning, would have made the idioms more easier to understand. Moving further, our first table topic speaker, Padma, great opening with high energy, and you always kill it with your great presence of mind. That one recommendation is that you were moving your hands unnecessarily a lot. If you can, the way you mark your content at table topics, if you can mark your body movements as well, that will be great. Second speaker, Toastmaster Raj, great storyline in terms of the scene creation and great ending with mentioning the medium again. Conclusion was great. Today, I felt that your energy was really low. So I would request you to work on your energy next time and keep eye contact with the camera, because I understand with the 6s and the 7s of the morning, we often log in from the telephone device, mobile device instead of the computer. But if you can work on it, I'm sure you will ace it next time. Keith, I love the sound effects that you created with the alliteration of meow, meow. Great voice variety in your content. And you broke the superstition about the black cat. One recommendation is you were rotating a lot while delivering the speech. If you can just mark your body movement again, will make your speech again a great one. Fourth, Diana, great content that you have delivered. I would request if you can just elaborate a little more, we will get more great inspiring speech from you. Fifth, Naveen, I love your screen presence. Is he here? I don't think so, he's here. I love your screen presence, Naveen. Your smiling face always takes away the audience attention to you and your content, and the way you created a great message was great. I don't have any recommendation for you. Sixth was Pratima. Give someone a strong back to lean on is amazing. What I would request you is to bring in a little bit more voice variety to make your speech more impactful and inspiring, because the content was really inspiring. Now moving to evaluation, now I would request my tag team to come over and present their report. So I would request Toastmaster Lakshmi to come over and present her timer report. Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Yeah. Thank you, General Evaluator. Time and again, I've been presenting my timer reports of each and every participant immediately after the sessions. If you want, I can just read it again. For speaker 1, Rupinder Singh, he took 7 minutes, 25 seconds and 84 milliseconds. Anna took 6 minutes, 53 seconds and 76 milliseconds. Table topics, Padma took 1 minute, 39 seconds and 89 milliseconds. Raj took 2 minutes, 10 seconds and 47 milliseconds. Keith took 2 minutes, 6 seconds and 22 milliseconds. Naveen took 1 minute, 54 seconds and 78 milliseconds. And Pratima took 1 minute, 25 seconds and 18 milliseconds. Diana took 1 minute, 35 seconds and 14 milliseconds. Evaluators, evaluator 1, Raj Mehta, took 3 minutes, 18 seconds and 41 milliseconds. Pratima, some of you managed just on the dot, 3 minutes, 29 seconds and 41 milliseconds. That's what from my side. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Now we have the R counter report, and being the R counter, I had a tough time in recording the R's and ums. Still, I managed to get some. My first today, for a change, I would like to bring notice everybody's attention towards Anna's speech. She used pauses effectively, even though it was clear that she was reading, referring to her notes. There were certain places where she used pauses really well. For example, frustration and anxiety. And in between dialogues, the way she was using it was brilliant. It was the one, my first meeting where I have seen a person using filler words, which we normally use, show it in a negative way. She has used it so positively in highlighting and effectively delivering the speech. So kudos to you, Anna, for that. Still, you used at the end for a longer time, which was not required. Toastmaster Elisa, you used only 2 filler words. Okay, what's next? Okay was not required, and second was so, which was again not required. Toastmaster Sarendra, you were breaking sentences a lot at the beginning of the TMOT speech, which I'm sure you can improvise on from the next meeting. Toastmaster Naveen, you repeated so 3 times and that 3 times. Toastmaster Raj, I just noticed one long which was not required. Pratima, there was only one so in your speech. Overall, it was a great learning meeting in terms of filler words. And now I would like to call our grammarian of the day to present his report. Over to you, Toastmaster Padma.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. First off, let me talk about the usage of the word of the day that I heard. Apologies if I missed anybody. Rupinder used it twice, Pratima used it twice, Saurindra used it once, Diana used it once, and Kushbu used it once. So obviously the leaders of the pack are Rupinder and Pratima. Kudos on that. In terms of the good usages that I heard today, astute speaker, male chauvinist pig, eventless lunch, drop the bombshell, bread in my bread and butter, spectacular sensation, yearning to be with people we love. You must do you. Interrogative tone, apt vocal intonation, vivacious personality, a tad low. Galvanize the audience. So overall, these were some of the excellent usages that I noticed today. And in terms of the improvements, began with you will have 30 seconds and you will be disqualified. Obviously, it means if you do not complete by then, you will get disqualified. Second is there is a tendency to use and to connect sentences. Preferably use a full stop and then start the next sentence for everybody. This is common. Explaining origins of the old language illustrations that we had, for example, raining cats and dogs or throw the baby out of the bathwater, if how it is used in the current context can also be explained, that will be brilliant, like it was done for graveyard shift, talking about the IT professionals. Whether to go into teaching or whether to go into programming, there is no need for two wethers there. You can just say whether to go into teaching or into programming. Similarly, when you say what stopped doing something, rather than saying gave it up, say gave up on it. So that is a better usage to indicate stopped doing something. Again, I think evaluator pointed it out earlier also and today also. The use of the word also with everything is not something which is recommended. And overall, I wanted to compliment two things. One is the table topics master. I think this is one of the most creative table topic sessions that I've attended, allowing us to frame the idiom and then go about giving a speech on that. That was brilliantly done. Secondly, Saurendra, the kind of, the usages that you brought out and the stories that you shared were really brilliant. I'm going outside the role of a grammarian and saying this, but I felt I need to say that. Thank you very much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Padma, for that brilliant report. Now I would like to evaluate our evaluators. Toastmaster Raj, you gave the speaker a lot of nuances to improve on, which will, I'm sure, will work in his favor. But as I said earlier, today your energy was missing as usual. Today you were not you. If you can work on your energy by standing and delivering the evaluation report, you are the next winner. Toastmaster Pratima, I loved the calmness and the flow of sentences and the well-organized evaluation you have given. You had a clear structure in your evaluation, which was brilliant. The only recommendation is again the same recommendation: stand and deliver your evaluation report. You are definitely the next champion for evaluation. Coming to my timer is brilliant. She has always taken up the roles at the end moment, and she has delivered the role with great efficiency by showing the cards and even telling us that teaching me today that timing can be recorded even with seconds, excuse me, which she has mentioned in the chat box continuously. So great work, timer. The R counter really needs to work more and be more mindful with the repetition of the words which she missed while delivering her report. The grammarian, as usual, we are thankful to you for taking up the role at the last moment and delivering it with such great proficiency. One request would be to put the word of the day or the phrase of the day repeatedly in the chat for the speakers to be reminded of, because a lot of table topic speakers joined at the end of the session. Moving further, the session began on time. Our SA, presiding officer, VP Education, so Toastmaster Sumit has taken up 3 roles and has delivered with great proficiency. The meeting started with high energy, with Toastmaster Rupinder and Toastmaster Surinder taking up the TMOD role. Toastmaster Surinder, thank you so much for enlightening me with so many different trivias. I didn't know that golf meant only gentlemen only and ladies forbidden. Having said that, I have one request: if you could have made this whole TMOD session, this presentation, the screen sharing, with a question like, well, what would you call a robbery happening during daylight, and ask the audience to type in the chat box. That would have got the audience more engaging and participatory. Moving next, my table topic master delivered a great session, which is really evident, and I'll appreciate your creativity every time that you bring on the table. Overall, it was a great session, great speeches, great learning day, and I request all of you to be here every Wednesday at 7:45 a.m. because if you can make it here at 7:45 a.m. and those who are coming from different parts of the world at late night, it shows our commitment, because I feel coming here is a commitment and living up to it. So thank you so much, and over to you, Toastmaster Surinder.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. So now, a penny for your thoughts. Guess, how did the word honeymoon come about? Anyone here? How did the word honeymoon come about? You know why the brides come with a bouquet of flowers, but now let me ask you, how did the word honeymoon come about? Well, is there anyone? Okay, let me tell you.
Can I make a wild guess?
Yes, please do.
We call our husbands as honey or hubby, and our husbands are very, I mean to say, the men are very
Yeah.
fond of promising the ladies that they can bring moon down from the sky. So maybe that is why the honey and moon is combined.
Yes, good idea, good idea. Yes, Lakshmi.
Probably the first month of weddings are always sweet.
Okay, good, good, good. You came close by. Yes.
So that means the first moon, definitely. The first month means
Okay.
the first moon which is falling within that particular period need to be great, it's honey. I mean, it's sweet, as sweet as
Yeah,
possible.
yeah. Good, good, good. Pratima? Honeymoon?
So I will go with what Raj sir is saying. I think
Okay.
he's right.
Very nice. Anyone else? Rupinder? You've been having honeymoons right through.
I'm glad my wife is not on this meeting.
Why so?
Because if she heard that I was having honeymoons right through, I would be going through hell after that. Because those, yes.
This is the problem. This is the problem. You always think something beyond what the facts are. Okay, let's get the cat out of the box or the bag. You know, in Babylon, about 4,000 years back, for a month after the wedding, the bride's father would supply his son-in-law with all the mead he would drink. Now, a mead is a honey beer, and because their calendar was lunar-based, this period was called the honey month. And from there, today, we have changed to make it honeymoon. And believe me, I, for the last 40 years, have been having honeymoons right through because we always feel that my wife provides me with honey on the breakfast table. It's her choice whether I can actually eat it because she refuses to push that honey bottle towards me and sends it to my son and my daughter-in-law. But yes, the honeymoon is on. And with that, I think we close about the trivias. And there are a dozen trivias like this where the idioms are used by us. I would request you to actually look for these trivias and try to understand why and from where it has come. And you'll find there will be a lot of understanding of the English language and how the English language has evolved. I'm sure some of you in your own mother tongue would have these idioms which you have been frequently using. So all the best to all of you. And with that, I would like to hand over the stage to the PO of the day, the presiding officer of the day, to take it forward. Thank you very much. Sumit? Sumit there?
Actually, that would be me. I was the
Okay,
presiding
okay,
officer.
Rupinder. Go ahead, Rupinder.
Thank
I'm
you
sorry.
very much, everyone. And before I continue, just take part in this poll that tells me who the best role player is. Please go on voting. So while that is going on, let's just move over to our guests and ask them how they felt about it. Keith, I know it is very late in the night for you. So let's start with you. How did you feel about the meeting?
It was a great meeting, very creative table topics. It's always good to see new things, being able to visit different clubs. And I just enjoy seeing new things. Primarily came to support my mentor, and I think she did a great job on a very touching speech that, it I'm saying I think the R count is done because I'm just doing a bunch of filler words, but she definitely inspired me and encouraged me, helped me to remain grounded. And I'm thankful for that speech. Great job, everyone. Definitely will see me again, of course.
Well, for what it is worth, you had 5 hours and 2 repetitions in that. The R counter was still doing his job. All right. Diana, how did you feel about the meeting? You were late, so we had to replace you as an R counter. Sorry about that. But thank you for coming, Diana. Let's move on to another guest. I'm going to add him to the spotlight. Padma.
Yeah, it's really a stellar meeting today. I loved the theme by Sarindra. It was really, kept one on one's toes, really. And it was really nice to hear those old England stories, which gave rise to several of the idioms. And I'm going to borrow this when I do my next TMOD role in my club meeting. Similarly, Elisa's table topic session was brilliantly constructed. I think it's one of the most interactive ways in which the topic got constructed. And again, I'm going to steal this for my club as well. Again, brilliant speeches. Both speeches were fantastic. Anna's speech, Rupinder's speech were really brilliant. Evaluations were great, supportive, and overall, the honeymoon continues.
So you approve of me calling up people at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I approve, but I would just have one request. Please make it 3 p.m.
I like to refer to Sharendra as my 3 a.m. friend. And with that remark, you just became my 2 a.m. friend, Padma. Wait for my call.
God.
But Rupinder, I'm not very worried about it because I know that most of what you do is US focused, right? You have been in US for such a long time. Every habit of yours is US driven. And therefore, when you call at 2 a.m., it will be mid-afternoon for me. So I don't really have any worries on that score.
US folks, don't be relaxed. I'll call you at 3 a.m. because that will be 2 p.m. for my time. So just in case you were thinking. Okay, let's move over to Lakshmi. Lakshmi, how did you feel about the meeting?
It was definitely great. I mean, I again learned a lot today also. I'm like every meetings I've been attending at Bluequest. And today, especially, I could say congratulations, Elisa, giving us a chance. It's a brainstorming session. That's a highlight of today's meeting that she was putting us. It reminds us of the jumble sentences when we used to do when we were doing our schooling. And she gave us enough ample chance for us to storm our mind and then to get the thing. And I could say all the table topic speakers, they did fabulously well. I was waiting for one. I thought probably I'll get one, but next time, it's always a next time. I really enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, the honeymoon continues. Please,
Oh
back
God,
to you.
not the honeymoon again. Not the honey. I'll tell you why.
I'm going to speak
I'll tell you
to.
why honeymoon is so painful for me, because I think 1 week into my marriage, we were sleeping and my wife had a horrible nightmare. I mean, as if married to be me is not a nightmare enough. She had a horrible nightmare and she tried to wake me up. And Shorendra will tell you that I'm not an easy person to wake up because he was my roommate in one of the district conferences. So she tried shaking me, like literally shook me like this, and I rocked a little bit, and I was sleeping and snoring away. And then I got the feeling that somebody was trying to wake me up. So I opened my eyes and I turned over to my wife and I said, "Did you want something?" And by now, her fear has turned into anger, and she goes, "No, I don't want anything." And guess what I did? I turned over and I went back to sleep. She kicked me off the bed. Okay, so you will understand if I take honeymoon with a pinch of salt and pepper and things that are bitter.
You might get tips from Mr. Sharendra. I guess.
And speaking of pinch of salt, Raj Mehta, how did you feel about the meeting?
I felt that everything today was perfect, almost perfect. I won't give any recommendation today. I felt, Surendra, you were great. And similarly, Alisa, your way of doing the table topic is something every time I learn something from your way of doing the table topic session. And I am also happy that today Kushbu was on dot on all doing all the evaluations. She did not miss anything. I am also thankful to Kushbu that she thinks and I'm mentoring her. It's not me, no mentor mentors anybody. It is the mentee who gets mentored.
Oh my God.
If you are ready to learn, you will learn. I've tried on many people and they have, after some time, they have refused. But at the same time, of course, I have some great mentees who have reached at very high level, like two of them. So I think Mukesh Thakur is my mentee. He has become district finance manager. He has become district DCB chair. He was division director. Similarly, Preeti and Pritish and Ganesh, they have all become division directors. So my mentees are there. They have grown better than me. I would also wish you to go much higher than me. Thank you.
Just because I don't do everything you say, Raj, does not mean that I do not listen to you. And you know, I say to a lot of people, it's not you, it's me. My problem is I don't listen. So thank you for calling out the names you think had impressed. I thought my name was going to come in there somewhere. But anyway, thank you very much. Now let's move on to the certificates.
You're not my mentor, you're my mentor.
Oh, right. Oh, we got to talk after this. Okay, now let's move on to the certificates. And today I was able to generate certificates, thankfully. So very quickly, moving on.
Just one interruption. Anisha, sorry, Alisa, your face is not visible. Maybe the light is on the back side. So you'll work on that.
Oh,
Yeah,
here is
I
the.
apologize. Yeah, I have to have the computer. Yeah, I have a problem with plugins today. Sorry.
Here is the screen. Our third best table topic speaker today was Pratima Rastan. Many congratulations, Pratima. Superb job. The best table topic speaker number 2. You know, the early bird gets the worm, but the late mouse gets the cheese. Keith Bryant Jr., thank you for staying up late. Many congratulations. And the best table topic speaker, I think that is what he came for in the first place, but we turned him into a grammarian. But many congratulations, A. Padma Kumar. Super job. And our best speech evaluator, that was a phenomenal evaluation for a first timer. And Keith, you're absolutely right. Anna is a superb mentor. So many congratulations, Pratima Razban. For our best auxiliary role player, we have A. Padma Kumar. The butler does it again. And for our best role player, you know, when you ask people to twist and turn table topics, you will probably get something out of it. And in this case, it was the best role player award. Many congratulations, Alisa. And last but not least, the best speaker. I was benevolent today, so I decided to give the best speaker to the person who was being evaluated by the best evaluator. No, actually, Anna won it fair and square. Many congratulations, Anna Whistler. So great job done. I will send these certificates by email, and you should be receiving them in your inboxes right about now. I will close the tabs to the right. Before you go, does anybody want to take up any role next week? Please let me know. This is a good time. I'll enter the names right in front of you. Anyone?
I can take an evaluator.
You asked for an evaluator. You shall get an evaluator.
Speech for me.
Sharendra is doing speech.
Yeah, I'm also doing speech. Did you hear?
Oh, yes. All right. Anyone else for any other role? I'll start taking names otherwise. Anna Whistler, what role do you want for yourself? Speak and thou shall get a role. Did she run away? Oh my God. I've never been so much snubbed all my life. Anyway. Keith, do you want to take a role? Next week?
I can take a role. I can take a role for next week.
What do you want to take?
I can.
Anna said
I'm
you
going
do general evaluator and Toastmaster of the day very well. So whichever.
Ooh, general evaluator, that was a little stressful. I can do a speech because I have a speech on Sunday, so maybe I can give that one again just to kind of perfect it.
Okay, I'll add your name to to the speech. We'll have to find an evaluator. We'll do that. Don't worry. All right. Great. Pratima.
I can be a evaluator, speech evaluator.
Brilliant. Video speech evaluator. So basically we need another speech evaluator. I will see. Khushbu, what role are you planning on next week? Alisa, what role are you? Achha, okay, you already said that. Okay. Khushbu, what role are you planning on?
I will confirm just the day before the meeting.
Oh my God. Role income tax reader. Okay. Great. Then what we'll do is that I will first stop the sharing, and then I will stop the recording.